going on, vinyl community and Kiss Army? Welcome to another video with the Record Spinner. Today's video is going to be another stroll down memory lane because 15 years ago, almost to the day when this video goes live, I went to my third Kiss show, which was at the Susquehanna Bank Center in Camden, New Jersey / Philadelphia on August 6th, 2010 during the Hottest Show on Earth tour. This is a part of an ongoing series where I talk about all the times I saw Kiss over the years, and this one in particular is one of the all-time best Kiss shows I attended. This video will provide some testimonials from that day, such as the fact that my father and I snuck in a video camera and basically bootlegged the show, and I have some long-lasting mementos that I got at the show that are still in my collection that I'm eager to share with you guys. There is a lot to get through, so enough of the chit-chat. Let's jump into what this video is all about. It goes without saying that with the release of Sonic Boom in late 2009, that my Kiss fandom definitely reached a new level of excitement, just down to the fact that I could live to say I saw the release of a new album by my favorite band that also entailed with seeing them live for the second time on the American leg of their Alive 35 tour. I had the flu and I still made it to the show, and if you want to hear all about that show, check out the second entry of this Kiss concert series. Now, with a new album under their belt, their next big American tour was dubbed the Hottest Show on Earth tour. To put it into context, it was merely a continuation of the Sonic Boom over Europe tour that took place in May and June of 2010, utilizing the same yet new stage set debuted during the American leg of the Alive 35 tour, and a completely revamped set list that featured material from Sonic Boom and some other classics that didn't appear as regularly or weren't played in years. This US tour included a stop at the venue where I saw my first Kiss show back in 2004, which used to be called the Tweeter Center, but was now called the Susquehanna Bank Center on August 6th, 2010. It's crazy to think that the US shows were announced a mere 2 months before the tour officially kicked off, and my mom managed to get my dad and I tickets that were roughly 10 rows from the stage, which at the time was the closest I had been to a Kiss show, so it added an immense element of excitement and anticipation. Also, total side note, summer 2010 was an absolutely rockin' summer. I had seen Iron Maiden at Madison Square Garden for the Final Frontier tour. I saw Rush 3 times on the Time Machine tour. And just 3 days before this Kiss show, I saw Green Day on their 21st Century Breakdown tour. So adding my favorite band into the mix only sweetened things up. The day of the show came, my dad and I hit the road, listened to a bunch of Kiss albums on the way to get ourselves pumped, and my dad decided to bring something to the show. For as long as he had been going to concerts since the 70s, he was always sneaking in ways to chronicle shows he had been to, whether it was tape recorders or cameras, and let's just say he was very creative in sneaking them in, albeit wearing baggy pants and taping them to his legs, and all kinds of colorful methods. Hell, when he saw Kiss at the Spectrum in Philly back in January 1978, he actually taped the show, and regardless if the sound quality may be rough since it's an audience tape, I'm still trying to dig for it. Now, at the time, he had a digital camcorder, which is this exact camcorder, which was a Panasonic SDR S50 that he would typically bring to school functions that I was in, family gatherings. He would film my old band at the time performing, and because of the fact that we had really solid seats for this show, he wanted to capture it. So as per concert protocol, you get your ticket scanned, security checks, they scan you for anything, and I'm guessing because where he had put the camcorder, security wasn't going to have a field day checking it to the point of ethical violations. So he managed to get into the venue with the camcorder. We had a small victory high five, and then we made a beeline for the merch booth to stock up on some mementos that said we were there. Now, I did get a t-shirt which had the Hottest Show on Earth design on the front with the tour dates on the back. I think I was given a size too small, so I only wore it a handful of times. There was one shirt design that I recall wasn't debuted until later in the tour that I got later on, which had the band overlaid against this galactic background with the Hottest Show on Earth graphic on the bottom, which I preferred much more and recall wearing it as much going into early high school. Then we also got the tour program, which was pretty much identical to the one sold on the Sonic Boom Over Europe tour, just with a different cover, and surprisingly, this goes for some pretty big money these days. I also picked out some other souvenirs as well, but we'll go into that once the show is done. Before Kiss took the stage, there were a total of 3 opening acts, which was definitely more than usual for a standard headlining tour. And one of the unique things with this tour was that one of the sponsors of the tour, Guitar Center, held a Get Your Favorite Band on the Kiss Tour contest, where fans would submit entries on what local band relative to each tour stop should take the stage first, and Gene and Paul would select the final contestants. So for this show, the local band Octane was the first opening act, and they were and still are local legends of the Philadelphia area, and I recall their set was really solid. Their sound was very much in a standard sort of hard rock vein, and I even spoke to some of the band members when they made their way to the audience after their set was done. The next opener was The Envy, which was a Canadian band that Gene had signed that year to his Simmons Records label. They were a bit more in the pop rock realm, but still were alright. Then the last and most questioning opening band was The Academy Is, a pop-punk band that would have probably been better off playing at some stage on Warped Tour. Don't get me wrong, I do enjoy some pop-punk from time to time, but I couldn't comprehend seeing them as an opener for Kiss. I remember they did a cover of Sweet's Fox on the Run, which was cool, but to say that the crowd didn't take too kindly to them is an understatement, because there were a group of guys in the back chanting, "You suck!" during the entirety of their set, which is unfortunate, but choosing The Academy Is out of a host of other or similar bands was a bit of a head-scratcher. Anyways, after those interesting opening acts, Kiss took the stage, and the set list was as follows. Modern Day Delilah, Cold Gin, Let Me Go Rock and Roll, Firehouse, Say Yeah, Deuce, Crazy Crazy Nights, Calling Dr. Love, Shock Me, I'm an Animal, 100,000 Years, I Love It Loud, Love Gun, Black Diamond, Detroit Rock City, Beth, Lick It Up, Shout It Out Loud, I Was Made for Loving You, God Gave Rock and Roll to You, and Rock and Roll All Night. Out of all the Kiss shows I had seen, this has got to be one of my top favorites in terms of the set list and the element of freshness surrounding the show. First and foremost, this was one of the rare times post-reunion tour where they didn't use the Kiss curtain that drops at the beginning of the show. Instead, it zoomed in on the respective venue on Google Maps, showed the group walking around Detroit as giants as per the Modern Day Delilah music video, the backstage clip of them walking to the stage, and the infamous "You Wanted the Best" battle cry.
All right, Philadelphia! You wanted the best! You got the best! The hottest band in the world! Kiss!
Once the show started, Gene, Paul, and Tommy stood on a platform that flew from behind and over Eric's drum kit to the front of the stage, one of Kiss's underrated show openers out of their entire touring career. Of course, the root of the set list is based on 70s material, which is a no-brainer, and you get the usual staples, but I loved that they were pushing Sonic Boom enough to have Modern Day Delilah be the opening song, and also feature Say Yeah and I'm an Animal. Even the placement of a traditional opener like Deuce towards the middle is fresh. Even though Kiss always represented the 80s / non-makeup period with I Love It Loud and Lick It Up, I appreciate that they went a little deeper with Crazy Crazy Nights and God Gave Rock and Roll to You. The latter was performed for the final time on this tour, and it's a shame because Kiss's rendition of the Argent track is a bona fide classic with a K. Instead of Tommy and Eric doing solos during Shock Me or 100,000 Years, they had a collaborative spot together where they soloed on their own and jammed together, which was rather cool. While Tommy shot guitar rockets, Eric used a sort of bazooka, which was something different. I also love the form of the extended encore, and they were kind of doing this on the Alive 35 tour, where after they did the main set, they came back and did a mini set of 5 to 6 songs, which broke the cycle of the typical 2 to 3 song encore. The obvious fresh inclusion of this encore was Beth, which was last performed before Peter Criss made his third exit from the group in 2003, and instead of singing to the orchestral backing track, the group pulled out the acoustic guitars and faithfully executed the MTV Unplugged arrangement, a definite refresher. Like I had mentioned before, my father snuck in his digital camcorder to the show, and between the both of us manning the camera, we managed to film an hour and a half's worth of the show before the SD card maxed out, so it cut off during Paul's noodly intro to Black Diamond, and that's the footage you are seeing here on screen. It's honestly shocking that we didn't get busted for filming. I don't know if security that night was super lax or we were surrounded by enough people where it disguised it a bit, but from where we were sitting and our ability to zoom up close, we managed to get some great shots of the band. My father also pursued concert photography as a mere hobby at numerous shows he attended, and he sees the idea of capturing the moment as a pure art form, and there was a moment during the show where Gene breathes fire at the end of Firehouse. Of course, that's the part of the show where everyone wants to document it, and when you listen to the raw audio from the footage, you can hear how both of us embraced a moment of victory as we lost it over how perfectly that shot was framed. Video cameras aside, I also brought my digital camera and took some photos during the show. Just like Kiss had done with Rock the Nation, Alive 35, and Sonic Boom over Europe, they hired Symphy Live to record all the shows on the Hottest Show on Earth tour and sell them afterwards on either CD or USB. Now, I always gravitated towards purchasing the CDs, but this time around, USBs were the only option available on location, and I think you could purchase CDs online. So after the show, I went to their tent and snagged my USB, which came packaged in this nice little magnetic box, which opens up, and you have some die-cast material inside that holds the USB in place that features the Kiss logo. Now, I can't remember if the USB was preloaded with the first half of the show, and then you had to download the second half the next day, or it contained the full show, but you could also download some super high-res photos from the Alive 35 tour, which was a cool addition. Now, since Kiss would re-sign with Universal when they released Monster, a situation like that means that Universal has the right to do a live album if they wished. So the Hottest Show on Earth tour was the last time Kiss would provide fans with the ultimate concert souvenir, an off the soundboard official bootleg of a show that you were at that certainly outbeats the expensive t-shirt or beer. Speaking of shirts, my merch buying wasn't done yet. As always, when you leave the venue of any given show, you are bombarded by parking lot t-shirt sellers, and while they are a fraction of the price of official merch, they can sometimes be questionable. Except for this particular one that I wish I still had, and I remember it vividly, and I'm gonna explain it to you guys, and I'll showcase some graphics as to what it included. Since I wasn't too thrilled with my t-shirt choice, I decided to cop a parking lot tee, and I don't know what it was about the shirt that made me love it so much. You had illustrated renderings of the band members on the front, the Rock the Nation promo photo on the back, and for no reason, the Kiss logo as it appeared on Kiss Alive 3. Such a weird and random hybrid, but I definitely wore this shirt more than my official one. Aside from the Symphy Live recordings, and similarly to the Alive 35 tour, there aren't any officially released documents from this or the Sonic Boom over Europe tour. And it's a real shame given how, at least I feel, everything pertaining to this show was somewhat new, fresh, and exciting. Paul's vocals were again the subject of criticism, and after this tour he underwent vocal cord surgery. Whether that was to his benefit or demise is up for personal debate, and maybe it's why Kiss on their next tour would down-tune their repertoire a half step, but I'll save my musings on that for a different video. So there you guys go. Those are my recollections of how I sort of bootlegged the third Kiss show I saw at the Susquehanna Bank Center in Camden, New Jersey / Philadelphia on August 6th, 2010. Did you attend this show or any shows from the Hottest Show on Earth tour? If so, what are your recollections? Please let me know down in the comment section down below. I'd love to know. And if you enjoyed this video, please go ahead, give it a like, and subscribe to the channel. See you guys in the next video, and most importantly, keep the records spinning.